and now he's moved on. He is at the Comickaze bookstore in Claremont Mesa. And you got a good read there, Mike?
Well, this is a developing story, Sandra. Who will Archie marry? Do you know the answer?
You know, I was never a big comic book Archie fan. Was it Veronica?
Well, Veronica is one of them. Betty is the other one.
Okay.
This is the big story, and we'll all figure it out unless I break the news to you coming up in about 25 minutes, which I will. Don't put it past me. Yes, indeed. You know where we're at? We're at Comickaze, Claremont Mesa Boulevard. It's a comic book store, and it's been here for 20 years. And the authority on all things comic and comic book. We're going to talk to this gentleman, Robert Scott, who owns it, and talk about Comic-Con. It's coming up next week, obviously, and Robert knows it from years and years ago when it was where?
It started out at the El Cortez Hotel in downtown.
It was a little different than today.
Yeah, just a little bit. I think we could put about 50 or 60 of those into the new one.
Yeah, it was just a little gathering of fans, and look what it has become. So we're going to talk next hour to Robert and take you around the store. It's just fantastic. When was the last time you were in a comic book store? We'll take you around it, talk about Comic-Con, and it's coming up in just about 20 minutes or so. And then I will reveal who Archie marries. Stay tuned. We'll be back. Dan?
I'm going Veronica.
Are you really?
I'm going to go with Veronica.
Are you going Veronica?
I'm going to go with it, yeah.
Okay, I'll give you the answer coming up.
All right, thank you, Mike. All right, well, Comic-Con is coming next week, and if you're a little bit behind on your comic book reading, as a lot of us are, Mike Castellucci is out there right now, getting fired up for Comic-Con. And
that's right,
so
Dan,
the suspense is killing me. Who does Archie get married to?
Developing story. Who's Archie marrying? And look at that. I'm giving it away.
Who was it?
Betty.
It's Betty, not Veronica.
Oh, wait a minute.
Hold on.
Oh, no, it's Veronica.
Oh. Was it really Veronica?
Well, it's both.
He married both? So
and as I said in my 7th grade book reports in front of the class, you'll have to read the rest of the book to find out what really happens. Okay. Anyway, Robert Scott is here, and we are talking Comic-Con, and we thought we'd go to the professionals involved and the people who've been doing it forever. Stephen is over here also. They've been attending Comic-Con for Stephen for 22 years. Robert just about the same amount of time. It has really changed, and it's impossible to go into it here, but you've owned this shop. Originally, when Comic-Con started, it was because of comic books and their fans.
Absolutely, yeah. It was the love of comics and wanting to get together and talk about it with other fans.
Yeah. And Stephen, I guess that has changed over the years. How has it changed over the years?
Well, it's grown primarily. It started off as a very grassroots, very intimate setting where the fans could get together with the creators and discuss what they loved, which was the comics. As time went by and more things happened, people brought in games, animation, movies started to become a bigger part of it.
Manga,
yes, and that also, as Hollywood became more involved with adapting comics into movies, more of the mainstream public became aware of Comic-Con, and it's just grown, and now it's like the single largest convention of its type in the world.
Right. Unbelievable. And all of these folks are descending on San Diego next week. We will be there, of course, live. And Dan and Sandra, I just wanted to say, we're looking at Batman first. Oh, not this one, not this Batman. This Batman, Tony Gwynn. Yeah, that's just a little play on words there. Both Batmen. But we're looking at that, and then we're looking at Robin. And this is the cool Robin and so forth with Catwoman and everything. But this is the old Robin that I know from the 1960s.
The little
and
feller.
Next week, Robin might make an appearance with us at Comic-Con.
Is that right?
I'm
Robin
warning
himself?
you right now.
The Boy Wonder?
The Boy Wonder.
The boy, yeah.
Yeah. So holy spandex, Batman, watch out. If you don't want to see it, if you don't want to see a middle-aged guy as Robin, in fact, I have
Speedo.
Dan, to be honest, after this, I have to go get my cape pressed at the cleaners. So.
Oh my goodness, you would be a good Robin, no doubt.
Well, we'll see about that. The verdict's not in, but Well, he may make an appearance next week.
Goodness.
Anyway, Comickaze here on Claremont Mesa Boulevard. They've been around forever, and we thought we'd come to the professionals, talk about Comic-Con coming up next week.
Comickaze, boy, they have come a long way. All right, thanks a lot, Michael. Wait a minute, are you telling me the Del Mar races and Comic-Con open up next week?
In 1 week.
1 week?
And we'll be at everything.
I know, we're going to be at all of them.
Yep.
I'm going to be riding a horse wearing a Robin uniform.
Wow, you're bringing sexy back, aren't you?
That's right.
I've seen you in that Robin uniform.
I know, and you're going to see me again if I could zip it up in the back.
Oh, boy. You're about the same
I know.
size, I think.
Hey, if you think it's fun and games standing in a comic book store, this being Comickaze, Claremont Mesa Boulevard, just remember that Comic-Con brings in $165 million to San Diego every single year, 150,000 attendees every year, and you've been a part of it for years and years. You're a publisher, a retailer of comic genre, and you've seen this grow over the years incredibly.
It is. It's incredibly huge, and it's seen, I think, the birth of a couple of the largest publishers in comics now. DC Comics has a wing here in San Diego called Wildstorm, and we have IDW as well.
Robert Scott here, and just for instance, what's coming up, we wondered what was new this coming week. This is the only comic book store in town that will have this midnight unveiling of the next in this series of the Scott Pilgrim books.
Absolutely. We've got Scott Pilgrim versus the World coming up in just a few weeks in the theaters, but Monday night we'll be debuting Volume 6, which is the final chapter in the Scott Pilgrim epic. And along with that, we also have Walking Dead coming, soon to be a series on AMC. Nice little zombie thriller.
I know Dan and Sandra will be standing in line about 11:30 for the next in the Scott Pilgrim book. So, oh, good. We'll see you there. We're at Comickaze. We're getting the inside on the comic industry, which is alive and well, obviously. And with San Diego's Comic-Con coming up next week, where we will be at. Oh, we've got a lot of great things planned there, including, let me tell you this, not only will I be dressed as Robin, but the next day we'll have, boy, I don't even know if I should give this away. It has something to do with Snoopy and the Peanuts gang, and it's really terrific, so we'll just leave it at that.
Right?
You've got a busy week ahead, Mike.
My goodness gracious. Wow.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Wow, this Comic-Con is just amazing.
It is unbelievable.
Yeah, how huge it has gotten. All right,
you,
Michael.
Mike.
Good to see you.
See you tomorrow.